I know now that my wife has become host to a Kandarian demon. I fear that the only way to stop those possessed by the spirits of the book is through the act of bodily dismemberment.
It's truly frightening.
This is
It's your home.
oh man, I got this. Big one for me too, man. Yeah.
Good evening, children. Tonight, it's time for fairy tales. Yes, indeedy. So don't fall asleep as we're talking to you because that probably will not be good. And with that, welcome to Three Corners of Horror live on Horror Fiend TV. I am Joe, and as usual, my two brothers, my partners in crimes, the villain JR. How you doing, bro?
Good. Having a little bit of technical difficulty. So if I didn't freeze, I was just joking. But if I freeze at any time, know that I have some technical difficulty. But yeah, so far so good. Yeah, let's talk about some nice little slippers and see how far would you go to make it fit on your foot.
Yeah, that's a big no. And with that, of course, Ricky, how you doing tonight?
What up, fellas? I ain't going that far. I'll tell you that right now. Spoilers.
No, hell no. How you doing tonight?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm happy to be here. I'll be honest. Last week I said I was excited to talk about Final Destination. I'm really excited to talk about this one. So let's go.
Well, I wonder why. But let's say hello real quick first before we get into the movie.
Yep. And who's this, JR and Joe? Well, hello, my devilishly handsomes. We got the fourth corner. What up, Lexi? How you doing?
Hey, Lexi.
And of course, it won't be a show without Mama Rose. Mama is here.
Hey.
Salute to you, Rose. Thank you for joining. JR, I miss my What's Your Story partner.
Oh, Artlist is coming on. Don't worry, we'll be back
Hi,
soon.
Mom. Thank you.
All right. Well, not all fairy tales end with a Prince Charming. No. Tonight we'll be discussing The Ugly Stepsister, released in 2025. It is streaming on AMC Plus and Shudder, and it's directed by, and I have to look, sorry, Emily Blackfield.
It's her first
Starring-
film. It's okay.
It is. Well, and it's also a Swedish or I'm gonna
Yeah, it's
Norwegian.
Norwegian. There
Well,
we go.
hey, listen. I got it right here. Norway, Poland, Sweden, and Denmark all
There you go.
involved in producing this film.
All right. Leah Myron as Elvira, Thea Sophie Lockness as Agnes, and Ann Dahl Torp as Rebecca. So this is basically Cinderella. I mean, it is a twisted tale on the Cinderella story, but it's actually told from a different perspective, not so much from Cinderella, but from her ugly stepsister and the lengths that she would go in order for her to get Prince Charming. And this was a body horror. So there was a couple things on here that, yeah, I'll save for this my time, but this was a body horror. So I'm sure that that's one of the things that Ricky was excited about. But JR, because this is a kind of a slow burn, you know, this is more up JR's field, hence why he picked it. And the funny part, he couldn't remember. He's like, wait, what's the movie? Who picked this one? I'm like, bro, you did.
It's been a long week.
It's funny because the reason why I remember, because he said, he mentioned The Ugly Stepsister. Then the next thing out of his mouth was, Joe, it's a body horror.
And that's how he got us, basically. He threw the body horror in there, that spaghetti stuck to the wall, and here we are talking tonight about it. But yeah, JR, give us all your thoughts on, you know, The Ugly Stepsister.
You know, when Rick created the thumbnail, he put beautifully twisted. And when I actually watched it with Priscilla too, so she might comment, you know, hopefully, because I told her, you know, we're doing this one, so she missed the last one that she enjoyed, so she's like, I got to see what you guys say about this one. But the fact that when you watch this film, and this is when something of a slow burn does its job, the fact that the twist of the film, the whole time we're thinking, oh shit, is Elvira supposed to be Cinderella? Nope. That's one of the greatest twists in this film, because the way they did this film is you're believing that she is the one, that she's going to be the one putting the slipper. But what I like about this film too, and we all love timepieces, and this is once again a timepiece. This is during the 19th century, during the Victorian age, where unfortunately for a lot of daughters, in order for them to move up the class scale, the society scale, they were basically, I don't know how you want to put it, like
Put on display.
bartered, bartered. You know, the best deal. You know, lands you my daughter. But this is unfortunately the circumstances of this film, and the fact that, you know, the mother was such a B, and the fact that you have, like, you know, the way the film started, the marriage, the death, and then, you know, poor guy that doesn't even fucking get buried. Little thing, I don't know if you guys realized it. There's actually an end credit scene in this.
Oh no, I know. Yeah. There is, but
There's
I
an
did
end
not.
credit
I didn't
scene.
watch it.
I did, but it's freaking hysterical
Well,
because
if you, Joe, you saw it.
Mm-mm.
Well, Gr, if you don't mind, you can
No.
enlighten us. Come on.
okay, so in
What
the
happened?
beginning of the film, father dies, right? Cuts to the credit scene, you know, opening credits. He's in the opening credits with his head still on the table, looking
Yeah.
directly at you.
I love that.
Throughout the whole film, all Agnes wants is for her dad to fucking get buried, a proper funeral. At the end of the end credit scenes, the poor guy's still in the room, covered in cobwebs. So, everything that happened in this film, the guy never got the fucking burial that
Wow.
Agnes
So they
wanted.
went back to that. I was
They
gonna
went
mention
back
that.
to that.
Wow.
Okay.
Was fucking
That was a nitpick
hysterical.
that I gotta just cross off the list. 'cause
Wow.
I
That
went
was
back.
hysterical.
So she met Prince Charming and totally forgot about Daddy in the basement. Got it. Wow.
Well, that's the one thing too. Did she really meet Prince Charming? Because we heard Princess coming at towards the end, but at the same time, was that really Elvira hallucinating, hearing that? So we never really see Agnes at all at the end of the film. All we seen was when she disappeared after Elvira went crazy. Which I'll leave the body horror part to you guys because I'm sure you guys are dying to talk about that. But for me, I mean, I like the way this was done. No, don't get me wrong. There was a certain point in the film I was like, all right, when's the horror gonna start kicking in? When's the horror gonna start kicking in? And the minute she saw that fucking tapeworm, I was like, God damn it, here we go. Because for me, I don't know, the whole tapeworm thing in your fucking stomach. But yeah, I mean, this film, I will highly recommend this film. I think this film is, as far as, because we had the Winnie the Pooh films that are being done. We have, like was Bambi coming out soon. We had Mickey Mouse coming out. We have all these films, but for me, this one was done so well because none of it was forced. Everything had reasoning to it. And the best shot for me, and I know, see if Rick caught this shot as far as cinematography goes, is when they're at the ball and Elvira is at her worst. Agnes is at her highest. And they're both dancing and they get basically, they get thrown into that little lean they do in the dancing where, and they're both looking at each other. The whole thing freezes and it's just them two eyes locked. For me, that was a beautifully shot scene, very appreciated scene because they did it and they held on to that scene for a while. No talking, no music, just them locking eyes. For me, yeah, this film, I'm anxious to see what you guys think about this one.
All right. Let's go ahead and hit those comments real quick before we go to you, Ricky.
Yep. All right, 1 second. I so wish I was on for this one. But how come you were on this? You didn't see? Oh, you're working probably, huh? Hey guys, what up, son?
Hey, Adam, it's a good thing you said hello because I got in trouble for you not saying one of his comments. He's like, Ricky did not read. I'm like,
Well,
what are
as
you
long as
talking
you're the
about?
one that's getting in trouble and not me, I'm
After we're done here.
Hey, Miss Wilson, how you doing? Shout out to Miss Wilson. How you doing?
How you doing?
Thank you for joining up. And she also comments, definitely a slow burn. I didn't think I'd make it through this one. Not for everyone. I'm surprised Joe made it through this one for certain scenes. We'll talk about it. Hey, Adam. Okay. And everyone is just saying hello to each other from now on. So thanks for commenting, guys. Enjoy the show.
All right, Ricky, what about you? What you
I
got?
found it funny because I was a little worried at the start because it said rated 18 plus, and the only thing it said was flashing lights. I'm like, oh my god, where's the gore? Where's the pervasive violence? Where's the nudity? Where's the strong language? What's going on? Oh, hold on. But of course, like GR said, it doesn't show you any of that until when it picks up. It picks up, and like GR said too, I like the fact that at first when Agnes was giving her shit, after her father Otto had passed away, and she was like, "You people," or she said the "you people" line. Forget it. Once she says that, I'm like, "Oh no, I don't like her." But actually, she was the good guy in all of this, and you know,
Well,
Elvira and her family, man. No, listen, Elvira was a devious, bro. When she ripped up her dress and she yelled at it. No. And the fact that she was ordering her around, she told on her when she was getting ass banged in the freaking barn. I mean, come on, no, she's a villain, bro. But immediately I was like GR mentioned, I was captivated by the title sequence. This and Joe could understand why I would get so excited. It felt like almost like a Quentin Tarantino-esque like style because the music was incredible. I will say this right now. The music was awesome in this movie, and I love how the movie starts with that the music in the title sequence. It breaks into the cold open once Otto dies, and like GR had mentioned, it's the camera's panning across of that table. I don't know if you noticed if you noticed, maybe it was me, but was there like worms and shit like on the food there was shit moving on that table, man. What was that, Joe?
Wait, when she was dancing?
No, the beginning during the cold open when the camera's panning and you see like Otto, like, his face is in the fucking cake dead, and you see all the fish that they're eating and all the plate of spaghetti.
Yeah,
Watch it back. There's like I don't know if it's maggots or whatever because we do see plenty of that later on. But the colors in this film, like the certain transitions. JR mentioned the ball scene when they both lean back and they're just staring at each other and time stops, and that is when Elvira knows who that mystery veiled woman is, and they don't need any dialogue for that, like JR had said. And I'm glad you pointed it out because that was great. In this movie, it's a beautiful film to just admire, just to look at, and that's what the contrast between that and like, and it's not even that it's gore, it's just the extreme level of like shit they show you in this movie that really takes that combination, whether it's the bleak and like colors, whether they're walking through like this foggy haze, then once they go inside, then you see the pastel colors, and you could tell it's a period piece just by the JR. You're a color grade guy. You could tell it's a period piece just by the muted tone of this film. That's awesome. And surreal is a good word to use for this film because so many times during this movie, I kept saying to myself, "This has to be a dream or some acid trip or something." This is so fucking... It gets weirder and weirder as it goes along. And it's just always giving you something new to discover, something new to look at. And within within that frame is the performances. I don't think there was not one bad performance in this film. And what's nice about films like this, these foreign films, is I don't know any of these actors. They're all new to me. So there's no like... you don't get taken out by thinking to yourself, "Oh, this person's here. Oh, man, we got fucking this guy in this. Who's that guy from Halloween Ends? Whenever he pops up, I think of you guys now." So exactly, but every character was like in a way flawed. No one had any redeeming like qualities aside for maybe Alma. I think she was she's probably my favorite character, to be honest with you, But all the other characters were all selfish, perverted, and narcissistic, And during this time, I think the metaphor it's definitely like Hollywood and young actors that get pulled into this world, whether it's by their parents or greedy agents, and they're forced to go through these barbaric transformations, just like Elvira did. This is primitive stuff, man. This ain't like... She's not getting put under and waking up with a brand new nose. I mean, Joe, when she got the eyelashes, Joe.
Oh, you finished.
Christ.
No.
That's all I'm gonna say. I'll let you get it said because I thought of you. Holy fucking shit, bro! I thought the nose job was bad. Jesus Christ.
Now that you mentioned that, just because JR said he waited. JR said he was wondering when the horror was gonna start, and it was once the tapeworm. For me, what you just said, so like keep talking on that with the nose job. That's when, because the horror was what the mom was going to start doing.
Yeah,
and then once you got, that's where your body horror started, when you were about to see the lengths. But go ahead.
I mean,
real quick, I'm sorry. I just gotta say the way they do the line before he did the eyelashes.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh my!
I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say on that too. I got something to say on that.
I'm sorry.
Okay. I'll leave that for you. But it's the way she is subjected to this kind of like torture and for pleasure for pain, essentially. I mean, pain for pleasure later on, because the way that room looked, it didn't look sterile for once. Elvira looks into the next room. There's fucking blood still all over the fucking floor. And that eccentric doctor, what a weirdo he was, man. This another thing. All the other cast members in this, they're all weird. Whether it was this kooky doctor or that fucking perverted like Taylor, whatever he was. I mean, Jesus. Nobody exactly. That's what I'm saying. There's not many nice people in this movie, but the tapeworm. Let me tell you, man. I hate tapeworms. I'm a skinny dude. When I was younger, I thought I had a tapeworm, because holy cow, man. I don't want to get into all this. I want to save some of this for Joe. But the end scene, when she regurgitated this tapeworm, I thought it was over when she started pulling it out, but it kept going. And jeez. Now, I know this must have been exaggerated for effect, for shock value. I'm hoping they don't really look like that in its full form. I know they can be pretty, like, dense and thick and long, but oh my god, they pretty much pulled a squid out of this woman. It was disgusting, and the tools they use, again, I use the word primitive, and that's what it felt like in this movie, because it's a timepiece, and this is what they had to deal with. Oh man, I was squirming. I don't like tapeworms. Joe, if I had movies that fucked me up, if that was my show, I would put this on it just for that scene alone. I couldn't believe what I was watching. That's after we already saw all this other crazy shit, which I hope you bring some of those up. But my pros, the camera work, color grading, the special makeup effects, especially when they're chopped off her toes and they're just hanging there. Fucking great. Practical as all hell. The soundtrack, memorable. This is a movie, and this is a movie that's long, okay? But this is a movie I will revisit because it's so beautiful to look at, man, and the soundscape attached to it. And the film has balls, no pun intended. But they show you stuff you normally wouldn't expect to see in a movie. And it's not done in this egregious way or anything like that. It's done in a way where it's like, okay, well, that's life. That's normal stuff. But other movies don't show it. But my cons, it's the length again. It's a little long. It's almost 2 hours. But I wasn't ever complaining at all. But it could have been shortened up a little bit, I think. And some of the editing, I think it was mainly for style. A lot of abrupt cuts. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but it's very weird. I think they were trying too hard to be like fancy and cool. They already had me. They didn't need to do all that. I didn't like it because it just stuck out like a sore thumb. But and just the silliness, like the whole scene where you mentioned the dad, he's rotting, got maggots coming out, and Agnes is like crying and bawling on top of this guy. She must have smelled so bad in that fucking room. But then, she sees her mother, and then those maggots turn to silkworms. They fix the dress. That was all right, man. This has to be a dream or something. I was like, no, there's no way.
Cinderella.
It's a fairy godmother.
And then I thought about, okay, well, this is a fairy tale. It is. So I'll give it a pass for that. But it's fucking great. I love this. So, yeah, that's pretty much my pros and cons and everything I wanted to bring up. So,
all right. Let's
hit Joe.
Let's hit up the comments real quick before I...
You got comments? Yeah. All right, Adam M. Hey all. First, I'm so sorry the woman had to go through this at the hands of white males.
Okay. He's
Second,
white, by the way.
Yeah. It's a white man. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I just want to say he's a white man. I don't want anybody to get all mad. It's a white
but
man.
the plastic surgeon was Hispanic because he was from Spain.
Ooh, which one? Oh, the pervert?
Yeah, no, the plastic surgeon. He was from Spain.
Oh yeah. Remember, he was very expensive too.
Mm-hmm.
Second, why the Spanish guy had to be that guy? Jesus Christ.
Oh, come on.
No, I don't care. Second, I love this movie. The actress was amazing. Yes, I'm so glad the sister stood by her. And that is true because the sister, Alma, I really did like her a lot. And she did. Even as bad as she was treated throughout the film, she still stuck by her. And thank you for that, bro. And one more, we got Sup fellas. Hey, Selena V. If there's one person I would love to see this movie is Selena. I think she'll have a great time with this movie.
All right, well, I'm going to save the full shot because, yeah.
I'll take a shot for you.
Well, no, I'm going to say, obviously, this is going to be appearing on movies that fuck me
up.
So
he took my thunder.
I'm going to need a little shot for this. All right. So,
with Joe saying that, I know his score already, so go ahead, Joe. I know how he feels. No, I'm kidding.
There's very rarely movies where I physically actually sit there and react throughout the whole entire movie. And there was even a part where I covered my face, and Adam goes, "Wow, you're covering your eyes?" And it was at the toes, because when you stub your toe, that shit fucking hurts. And she was gonna chop off all 5. Yeah, like, oh god, the way it was just done, and then, holy fucking shit. This movie was bonkers in the good way. And it's funny because the other body horror that I had loved, The Substance, I use the word bonkers. This movie was bonkers, but in the subtle way. So this movie is just, dude, it's insane. JR, I'm glad you picked that. I know JR was probably sitting there going, oh god. And again, the funny part is he totally forgot that this is what we were doing. But yeah, when the surgeon cut into her nose, I verbally yelled, ow. That shit looked like it hurt. The instruments were archaic and barbaric. Those are the 2 words that came to mind. And when he went to take off the braces, what the fuck was that? I mean, did it have to be so long? I'm like, oh my god, this is like, what is going on in here?
At the bottom, bro, let me get the pliers.
Oh, it was just like, oh.
I agree.
So, I'm still on a diet because of my doctor's appointment, so I can totally understand the hunger that Elvira was feeling. And when everybody got this great meal and she got her lemon soup, Adam's like, well, it wasn't really soup. I'm like, look, she was eating it with a spoon. She was given lemon soup, the lengths that the mother basically put Elvira through. But ultimately, Elvira had her end game, which was to get the prince. So she didn't stop any of this. So, she was willing to go through all of this. But, probably controlled by Mama there. When she threw up the eggs, I was like, uh-oh. How many have hatched in your belly, girl? It's like, oh my god. All I imagine is there's now a bunch of little ones in there. But when then she goes back to the dance and she's spinning around, I was like, oh my gosh, she is going to projectile vomit eggs all over the place here. Like, it was just like, and yeah, the tapeworm, I'm going to save a lot more for that, but the tapeworm, my mouth dropped. I was like, what? Like, and as she's pulling it out, there's actually a good episode on American Horror Stories that covered a model that was given a tapeworm. And like, it was actually a cool episode. Adam and I were sitting there going, oh my god, it's gonna bite her face off when Alma was pulling it out. And I thought at this point, because of all the craziness this movie had, that the tapeworm was gonna have a big face and bite Alma. Thank God that didn't happen, and the movie kept itself grounded. The movie was directed by a woman, hence, the balls that were put in the movie. And I sat there, and Adam and I were like, I'm like, yeah, so this is a woman. Obviously, she's trying to show, if we're going to show what women had to go through back in the day, we're going to make some men have to do this now. I thought, same thing, cinematography, it was beautifully shot. There's this other kind of Cinderella movie that I like, Ever After, with Drew Barrymore. And as I was watching it, I said to myself, I'm like, oh my God, it's like they took Drew Barrymore's Ever After and then gave it this sick, twisted twist on it. So this movie, I honestly, JR, like I said, at first I'm like, oh no, it's going to be a slow one. And the runtime was like 1 hour and 49. And I'm going to be honest, I know I've gotten on you guys. I literally waited till like, I finished like 30 minutes before I had to like jump in the shower so we can do this.
You saw it today?
I just saw this, which is why it's all so fresh in my head. I thought it was going to be like 1 hour and a half, to be honest with you. And I'm like, oh,
hey, listen, it's a foreign film. None of those films are an hour and a half, right, GR?
Yeah, I should have thought about that.
Hey, I saw a slow bird the day before, which was a GR recommendation. The movie he just covered on our channel.
That was
check
fucked
it out.
up too, man.
That was a fucked up movie.
The Acre.
Starving
Yeah.
Acre.
So this is, I think this is why this one didn't feel as slow to me, because this one, well, you know, the other movie is a slow burn. This I didn't feel it as much.
Oh,
But-
look at
Yeah, I know. I was like, let's read it. Actually, go ahead and read the comments real quick,
Oh.
so that way, and I'll keep going. After
Alright.
you.
Just to think, there are people who swallow tapeworms just to lose weight. So, hold on. I'm glad you brought that up, Selena. That's a common practice. I was
Yeah,
not
Yes,
aware of that.
especially back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what that antidote was real. That
Yes. You then have to, in order to expel it, you have to take something to basically make it come
You know,
out of you.
You know what's funny is like the whole time when we're watching it and the scene is she's in the ballroom dancing. Because Priscilla, I asked her, I said, when does it start coming out of you? She goes, oh, sometimes it comes out of your butt. So when
Yep.
she was dancing around, I'm like, yo,
Yep.
she gonna shit the tapeworm? I'm over
With the
there waiting for
tapeworm?
it.
Yep.
Yes, because
it could come out of you on its own too.
When you go to
So bits of it.
in the because I don't want to ruin it, but yeah, in the American Horror Story episode, when she takes the antidote, she doesn't throw it up. It comes out of her butt, so she's got to sit there and pull
I have to
this
watch that now,
giant,
bro. Out of
like-
curiosity,
Oh,
out of
yeah.
morbid curiosity,
What?
I gotta watch it.
because this is why. Actually, keep reading them so that way I can finish
Yeah,
it.
thank you, Selena. Crazy special effects.
Agreed.
I loved the practical effects here.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. Even they must have used some CGI, but it was so well done and handled.
Foreign film, man.
It didn't take you out of it. It felt real. Everything looked real. Even the fake. I'm assuming they were fake. The penises. You know what I'm saying? And yes, they are. Plenty of that in this movie. And balls. That's why we keep talking about balls. So yeah. All right. Oh, I'm sorry. I hate this is sick transition. I'm sorry, Priscilla. Love that her stomach growled the entire time. Thank you as well, because that was driving me crazy in a good way. It's meant to make you uneasy, man. Holy shit, that was gross.
You muted, Joe.
brother.
The worm is eating all the food,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
so
yeah.
she's
always
physically hungry.
Yes, yes.
So that's why you got the stomach growling.
Well,
I mean,
she was getting sick too. Her hair was.
Yeah, she was
falling
getting
out.
malnourished.
She was
she
malnourished.
was malnourished
Yeah.
at that point.
Yep. And looked real. It did. It did look.
It looked real.
Oh yes, we did see it. The movie was crazy. That.
She's about
some-
Star Baker, right?
Yeah. So yeah. See, we saw it together. Yeah.
But I again, the everything just looked so real, and I just loved Elvira's. You know, she starts out, homely and gets turned beautiful, and then by the end of it, she's chipped her tooth. She finally got her teeth fixed, but now she's got chipped tooth. She's got no hair.
Everything she fixed got fucked up.
Everything is all fucked up. All I kept thinking about was, you use your toes for balance. Like, you're never going to be able to walk right here. And then when Alma's helping her down the stairs, I kind of like that, because the moment that they took to laugh, it was kind of like they laughed at the absurd, damn it. Somebody help me out here.
Absurdity.
Of it all.
Yeah.
And especially now that she's got to, hold her legs up to get her out of here because of the lengths that she went through.
They left
But,
her mom. I'm assuming, right? They
Yeah,
left her-
well,
they
yeah,
left- yeah.
Remember, she cut one of
Mama-
the toes off. Mama cut the other toes off.
Yeah.
Mama chopped her the
She
Mama
was so
finished the job.
vindictive that she fucked up that she cut both her fucking.
Well, and the guy that she brought home was the last guy.
The fish guy.
that Elvira, yeah, the one that was naming everything. And I'm like, damn.
Baron of Solomon.
Yeah, so I'm like,
The
Mama.
Solomon guy.
And when she noticed that Alma was taking the jewelry to leave, then, she's like, all right, well, I'm going to have to suck this dick now because all my girls are gone. They're going to leave me. I need to have some
No,
money
you know
here.
what's funny though is when there was a term I wanted to say about the mother throughout the whole movie, and she ended the movie with a term I wanted to call it the whole time. Because what was she? She's like, oh, and the guy goes, "Go on, go."
That
Oh,
was borderline pornography at that point.
It was.
well, I mean, hey, listen, again, it's a female director who may have chosen to, because we're used to women always being subjected, especially still in film.
Yeah. Well done too, though. Well
That
done.
she did that. She's like, you know what? We're gonna put this in here also, because if the women are gonna show everything, I'm gonna have the men show everything as well too. And does anybody have any little last thoughts before we go to the
No,
rate?
no, good.
All right. So JR, give us your score, my brother.
All right, so pros and cons. Pros is that this movie was very well done. I mean, I love slow burns that basically do the character the development at the beginning and throw you that twist where you're like, oh shit. So for me, I think that's what was the one of the things that carried this film, because the unexpected character became the villain at the end, and the person that we thought was going to be the villain was actually a heroine in her own way. But for me, what the fuck? Oh, sorry, I just read what Adam wrote. Fuck me up.
We get it. I can see myself.
I know why he's saying that.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't see
But
nothing, man.
yeah, but for me, it's just like it was beautifully done. It was beautifully written, and the cinematography was great. I love timepieces. I love the fact that they took their time to make this film, and it was just done to the point where the one scene I walked out on, it's kind of, a little bit was the eyelash. I was like, oh, I can't. So
Oh,
like,
Oh, we didn't talk about that. Oh,
Come
oh my God!
back.
Actually, before we,
Go ahead,
oh,
you want to jump on it real quick? Go ahead.
okay, I told you
You're the eye guy.
that was done so fucking good.
Mind you, Joe, before you go on, remember, we had teeth with the braces
Mhm.
to an extent, but the eyes.
So
Joe, go for it.
the other part is I was having an issue today getting my contacts on, and anybody who wears contacts knows, like some people do the whole like I look straight so I can see my finger coming. So when they were showing the hand and that needle, I literally, you know how when you're at a dentist and you're withering, whatever the word is, in the chair, you're like, I was like in the chair, like, ugh.
I'd be slithering like.
Whatever it is, I'm like, ooh, that was pretty bad too. Go ahead, JR. But yeah, I mean, I was going to mention that, but as you said that, I looked at my notes and I'm like,
to make that scene worse, though, was the fact that she turned around, the other chick had her eye all fucked up.
Yeah.
Adam goes, it didn't go well for her. And I'm like, I didn't know
And
about
also, like you said before, they eat the line of coke. That perico.
No,
Yeah,
it was.
cocoa
He
for
put,
your
no,
eyes.
they
You
put it. It
cocoa,
was.
cocoa
it
butter,
was,
cocoa butter for your eyes. That was
It was
cocaine for them.
a local. It was a topical anesthesia.
Yeah, of course.
Well, yeah,
of
no, but
course.
that's
But it was made out of
But,
coca.
no, but I'm talking about
And
what he. Yeah.
Well, no, he
snipped-
took the same stuff and rubbed it and went.
Oh, I
When
thought
he-
that was coke.
Because
It
when
was-
when he put it on her
Okay.
eye, he goes, "This is
Wait,
coca
was there
butter."
even cocaine back then?
There was.
There was, but
But it was opium. Like, yes, it was.
because
different,
since
yeah,
it was
yeah.
topical, it was also
I
aromatic. So he
got you.
sniffed
Yeah.
the
He
aromatic part of
sniffed
it.
it yet.
Which that's what the mother was giving her the whole time to,
Pass
for
out?
pain, opium.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm not gonna do halves. I think this movie deserves more. So I'm gonna give this a 5 actually, because I just, with all these fairy tales being written these days, this one feels perfectly done for me. And for me, I do think it's a must watch. I think you should watch it. Granted, it's not for everybody, but I think the way it's done, where they took something like a Cinderella and turned it into this, I appreciate it greatly. And this is why, once again, international films are just so fucking good.
Yeah.
So
they're
5
king.
for me.
They're king.
All right. Ricky,
4.5 for me. It would have been a 5, but again, like I mentioned earlier, it just went to levels where it was a little too absurd and took me out of it, like with the whole dress thing. I don't know. It's just if it was explained in a way where
it was
Go.
Cinderella though.
I understand that, but
But
remember
like,
they
she was
called
even
her. But they
Cinderella.
called her Cinderella. So Cinderella exists in this world. Let's say the story.
Well, this is
So-
a fairy tale.
Yeah, I know, but what? All right, Cinderella. Educate me. She exists before the actual story came out, because they called it Cinderella for a
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah, it was
So when-
obviously it was a fairy tale.
Yeah, so
so it was
When
it
the
was,
guy was like, "If anyone could fit this shoe," I'm like, "Oh no, okay, now you jumped the shark." But that's me. That's the only thing. It just took me out of it. I was like, "Oh, god dang it! It was going so good. Don't go too over the top." Because what I loved about this movie so much is what Jiro was talking about. It is grounded in a sense. It could happen. It's real. It's surreal. The shit you see. But then once it gets near the end, it starts going way overboard to that extreme, like, weird fantasy land. Wait a minute. What? How did her dress come about? There's really a pumpkin with it. I get it, but that's why it's not a 5 for me. If that doesn't bother you, then it's a 5. This movie's fucking great. I love the acting, the production quality, everything with between the directing, cinema. I already mentioned everything. I already said it. I love this movie. I recommend it to anybody. And if you're squeamish though, and if you get offended easily with body parts, and I don't mean like guts and stuff like that, but if you don't like seeing a lot of nudity, especially with involving younger people, so yeah, that's that.
I'm gonna give it a 5. I only because again, it did the one movie I thought about when I was watching it was Ever After, and Ever After is another basically adaptation of Cinderella without making it look like Cinderella. But my part with the shoe though, it's where it took the character for her to go. Oh, actually, I know what I'm just doing now. I'm gonna stop. Um,
What?
Yeah, I was gonna start rambling on, and
No, go
but,
ahead.
well, no,
Finish your
because when
point.
she like the whole point is she made sure she wanted to fit into that shoe, so it showed you the last, no pun intended, step she would take, because it's gonna be the last actual step in life she would take, losing those toes. So it's beautifully shot. I actually
Well made movie,
love
bro. Wow,
the makeup
movie.
work on Elvira to make her look homely.
Oh, I was gonna
Because you
say
can
that
say
too.
that
I'm assuming that was makeup, right? To
that was
make her.
makeup.
God, man,
She's
this
a
movie's-
she's if you look at her the way she looks like the. I mean, I'm sorry to jump in. She looks like the girl from Game of Thrones, who she was she was the one that's supposed to marry Joffrey. I think she did marry Joffrey. She was the really
Yeah.
pretty one.
Oh yes,
She looks just like-
Natalie Dornham.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She
yeah.
looked like Natalie Dornham,
Mhm.
and I see that. But yes, the makeup work to make her go from homely, it was just so well done. The acting, I was, when I was listening to Adam was like, wow, she's really good. And especially after she threw up and they pulled out the tapeworm, it's like, damn, she did a good job. And I'm sitting going, this fucking girl really kicked ass.
Yeah.
Like, and like Rick said, they took unknowns. We don't know who these people are. It's what worked for the original Speak No Evil, is because you don't have you don't have a connection. So it just helped elevate the movie. But yeah, definitely a strong 5 for me. So make sure to check it out. Like I said earlier, that it is streaming on AMC and Shudder. And now we're going to change the topic real quick, and because we were discussing fairy tales.
Let me just grab these real quick.
Oh, actually, sorry.
What the fuck?
All right,
Wait,
wait,
hold on, my
I
bad.
forgot. This is why. No, this is why. So y'all didn't notice that when the movie ended, how they say the end in their language?
Yeah.
It's slut, and I'm like, who are they calling a slut? And then Adam's like, what? I'm like, it says slut on the TV. So he just did it in Spanish for.
I agree. Wow, nice. Adam gives it a 5.
Oh yeah, anybody who's listening and you've been
Yeah.
commenting, give us your score.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Toss it
Adam,
in.
because I did tell Adam, I'm like, we should start asking if anybody's
He's a tough
commenting.
No, we
critic.
should definitely.
Yeah, no. And I was talking to him, and he's like, yeah, let's do that.
Rick, they were building up Elvira's persona with the dress. I'm talking about Agnes's dress when I was.
Yeah. When the,
Yeah, I just
I
think
mean, and that was.
the problem is I was so into the movie because it was more grounded, and then when they got too much into the Cinderella stuff, when they started going with the pumpkin and the dress and all those rules, like, oh no, it's not that that's bad, but it's just the tone of the movie switched to me. That's all. And I felt her emotions. Yeah, this movie's just great. It makes you really feel what these young actors and actresses who jump into Hollywood go through. The fact that they're whether it's their parents or greedy managers, they put them through this crazy lifestyle that they're not ready for, especially at a young age. Elvira was 18, so that's nothing. I mean, jeez, man.
Well, and this is why I had mentioned that it also made me think of The Substance.
Oh yeah.
Because when she got to the
beauty is-
younger,
yeah.
and then the managers, everything they wanted her to do, it was, and I'm saying it actually, as a compliment, that it reminded me of the movie, because in the sense, it was a totally different movie.
Yeah.
But somewhere in there, the same message was done.
you're
and
right,
It was
yeah.
done differently.
The last thing I
right.
will say is the mother she showed her hand when the moment like Elvira failed and she found herself shacking up with that fish guy. He's got obviously they're very wealthy, so she's like, okay, I got my way in now into money. I don't need my daughter anymore.
I don't
And
need my daughter.
what she put her through just to toss her out like that, not to cut off her fucking feet like that.
And not just that, the smile was, oh, good.
Fucked
I don't
up.
have to worry about you guys.
Not only that, the mother slept with everybody in order to push her
Yeah,
daughter
I'm
along.
assuming
Because
she
not for
paid for
nothing,
that dress. Remember, she paid
Everything,
for the dress.
the
everything.
dress. I mean, the lady who was teaching him to dance, she goes, "Your mother paid me." And they're looking at each other like, all right, you know, the mother's doing everything possible.
Oh yeah, because she was in a relationship with the other lady, so you know she
And
would
the
be
other
down for
lady,
that.
and she called her out about being with somebody else. And she's
Yeah.
like, no, I wasn't. So, yeah.
Good shout, JR. I like that. Yeah, I didn't think about it that way. You're right.
Well, and just to keep in theme with, with the fairy tale, like if you guys, any other ones you have seen, and recommend or say avoid, like you don't have to go into like great detail.
No, it'd be
One-
quick.
One I will say that, I'm sorry, I'm a little thirsty. What I will say that I know that everybody kind of like is not a huge fan of M. Night Shyamalan's, and because it's not exactly like all the fairy tales we're used to, is Lady in the Water. I love Lady in the Water. It's based on a story that he was told as a child by his dad. So, and then turning it into a movie. It's a weird movie. I get it, but because it's not like everything else that he does, I actually think Lady in the Water, if you're not looking for like a scary horror type, is a good one. And obviously, I mean, it was covered on Horror Fiend Drive-In Theater and
Yeah.
movies that fucked me up. Pan's Labyrinth.
The king.
Oh, that's it.
Well,
I
Pan's
gotta
Labyrinth
get that
to me is
copy.
the king.
No,
That-
he's got Legend up.
Oh yeah, yo, you know what? It's crazy. I did not even think about Legend when I was thinking
Mm.
about this, because fairy tale horror is weird because I couldn't recall too many. I had to look up like, all right, what fairy tale horror movies are there? And apparently, there's a lot, and it's
You
just
never
not.
saw you never saw Darkness Falls?
Yeah, with the witch,
Tooth
right?
Fairy.
that's-
Tooth
The
Fairy.
Tooth Fairy.
The
That's
Tooth
the
Fairy.
Tooth Fairy.
Yeah, I have that movie. I own it.
Right.
It's
that's-
alright.
so-
I wasn't a big fan of it.
I mean,
honestly.
Could've been better.
even-
it could have
been better. It could have been
It's
better.
one of those movies that came out during that time. It was like a million movies that were like that.
Mhm.
You know,
Well, and
early 2000s.
even though it was a little bit more action, I did like Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters.
There's too many of them.
Yeah, it has a lot of hands. So, are you talking about the
I-
with Jeremy Renner?
Yes,
Yeah, that's the action
I-
movie. Yeah,
I mean, but it is a fairy tale, like kind of horror. And then you got Sleepy Hollow with
Oh, it's a great film, right? Johnny Depp. That
Johnny
one.
Depp and Christina Ricci.
Yeah.
I mean, so there's some that are out there. It's funny because I was like, well, we're doing this one. I'm like, I'm gonna ask them because in my head I'm like, what have I seen? So I had to do the same thing, Rick. I had to look up and I'm like, oh shit, yeah.
Yeah, because you don't
And
think about it that way.
you
There's
don't,
one you probably saw it, and I did know about this, but I never really put two and two together. I would love both of you guys' opinion on this. Like, Suspiria. Suspiria is interesting because when me and Joe did Horror Italiano, I did a lot of research on this movie. All right, I watched it. All right, boom, boom, boom. I wanted to know everything about this, because I was so like, after I seen it, I was so like in love with that fucking movie. So Dario Argento was inspired by Snow White and Alice in Wonderland, and this I knew. He actually gave a copy. Well, I don't know if he gave a copy, but he advised his cinematographer to watch Snow White because he wanted to kind of replicate that feeling. That's where all the colors come from. Remember, Joe, how we told the colors?
Yeah.
He was inspired by fairy tales and more specifically Snow White, and the school being kind of a mirror for a castle. If you think about it, the school did act like it was a castle. It has all the classic fairy tale elements in it. There's a witch in the movie, as a classic fairy
Yeah.
tale villain, and the youth were all like the victims essentially. Again, classic and fairy tale. So I think when it comes to fairy tale horror, I think that definitely fits the bill. It's not like this is what I was saying before. I thought, all right, how many movies are based on Snow White that are horror? But no.
Well, you saw-
Fairy
you
tale
saw
is
Winnie
not
the
relegated
Pooh.
to an IP.
Actually,
It's relegated. It's about all the feelings, right, you get from these movies, whether it's like it's what it involves. A lot of fantasy, especially dark fantasy. And then when it's turned, whether it turns modern like Suspiria, you know, instead of a castle, it's a fucking dance school. There's a witch in there, you know. Instead of a princess, there is a young girl in there. But I never really opened up to fairy tales that way. JR had fucking legend, absolutely. That's Jesus Christ. I don't know how I didn't think about legend. JR, talk about it, bro. Talk about legend, bro.
No, Legend is awesome.
Cause that's one movie. It's weird. We had this channel for like how much 4 years.
No,
ago
we gotta
now.
do that.
5. We never even talked about.
No,
fucking
we gotta
legend,
talk about
bro.
this
I'll
bad
look that
boy.
up. I'll look that up.
So real quick, JR, what makes that a fairy tale that you
Well,
would get behind, yo?
Well, it has your typical. I mean, it has the wood sprites, which is the fairy tales. You know, the fairies. You know, it has the goblins. You know, it has evil. I mean,
Yeah.
and one of the things that in this fairy tales always, you know, there's always a
Damsel in
factor of
distress.
love. There's always a factor of love and how love conquers darkness. And think about this film is that in Legends, you have a character called Darkness, who
What a name, bro.
wants to be loved, and it's Tim Curry's
You're-
like most masterful role.
Oh, God.
And
second to Franken.
And you wouldn't even know it was Tim Curry unless you read the cast, the
Dude.
credits.
When I think
Or
of Tim-
Pennywise.
Yeah.
Darkness is my. When it comes to Tim Curry, Darkness is my guy.
Well, I mean,
was-
again, he's played Pennywise.
Oh no, I know, no.
OG
he's good.
Pennywise.
Oh, I understand.
And,
yeah.
no, like
His body of work is
and yeah,
immaculate.
and Dr. Frankenfurter.
Frankenfurter, yeah.
No, I mean you have. I mean it has one of the. I mean it's about basically he wants to destroy all light. In order to destroy light, he has to kill the unicorns. But he wants the love of Lily. I think it was Lily. It was Lily. I mean, he wants her love to the point where he wants her to be the hand that destroys light. You know, and then if you look at other you know, fairy tales. I mean, one of the most disturbing films I've ever seen. You know, The Shape of Water.
Ooh, Guillermo del Toro.
You know, once again, Guillermo del Toro strikes again,
Another
you know?
del Toro. Yeah, he loves fantasy
Yeah,
fairy
that
tales.
was a little disturbing. You know, it was basically taking, you know, for me when I watched it, it was taking the creature like Black Lagoon, putting them in a, you know, more semi-modern time because it was still back in like the 40s and 50s. But and then you have one of my favorite films, you know, Anya and the Witch.
The Witch.
I mean,
yeah.
Witch,
Oh,
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
The Witch. The Witch. Yeah. Hold on. Let me.
Yeah, I know.
First of
Say
all,
hi.
Sophie.
I'll come back and get my score.
So I'll come back. She's talking about.
Oh, I thought you gave your score. You gave 5.
No, she hasn't seen it. She hasn't seen the
Oh,
movie.
she hasn't seen
no,
that
I thought
movie.
Joe was
The
saying
little-
nothing.
The Ugly Stepsister says. But we got Angel. What up?
Hey,
Hey, haven't seen this one yet, but wanted to say hi. You should watch it, Angel, for sure. Radar says hi. Oh, Radar, the boy. I
Hey,
haven't seen
Radar.
Radar. Where's
I
Radar?
know.
Does he still
don't know, we
exist?
don't-
Where is this guy?
Hello.
We are
I
recording
got
some
him.
episodes
He's
for our
back
up.
here.
Oh,
He's
there you go.
there.
Huh?
I got Radar back here.
Yeah, I'm about to start his. I got his latest book actually.
Yeah, I gotta
I'm
get that
about to. I'm about to start it, dude. It's the cover. I'm just so. We'll get into that. But Radar, drop some more books, bro. Yeah, I love your shit.
And join us soon. Four
Yeah,
Horsemen.
man, come back on the channel, man. Angel, you too. I'm not forgetting about you, Angel. Radar says he will see you. Oh, gee, sorry.
Yeah, we're recording two shows.
What
Two
you got?
episodes
What you
this
got?
week. We're recording was it last night Soho with Anya.
Oh my God,
So
I
if
love
you're
that movie.
available, you're welcome to come on.
JR, you see that, Joe? Oh, JR, I'll
Yeah,
get
yeah,
back to you.
yeah,
I
yeah.
might just join you for that.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, Joe.
I know.
I
Anya.
was that same guy. It's long though.
No, I
Jesus
still want to
Christ.
see it. It's always been
It's
on my list to
long.
see.
But I was like that. I was like, I'm not watching it. It's too long. But I said, you know what? I gotta see it. It's Edgar Wright. Brother. JR.
Yeah, I think we're doing
I'll hit
that
you up.
one.
We'll see.
I'll let you know what I think we're doing a sci-fi one, but I gotta let you know.
Anya was incredible.
I
man.
love Anya, man.
Jesus.
She
Oh,
can't do
yeah.
no wrong.
Well, before we say goodbye, the only last one I want to add on is the never-ending story. I find that to still be kind of horror. I know everybody looks at it as children.
That's not a
But-
horror film, man.
Listen.
People dying.
Well,
You're
Actually,
you're battling the nothing.
Yeah, the Lord of the Rings battles demons and stuff too, but that's not a horror.
You're
film.
battling the nothing that destroys everything.
I
just
give,
like
I give
darkness.
it.
So the battle is against the nothing. And if you were not tormented about watching, and of course,
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, as a
you
kid
know, I mean,
watching it,
I
it's
still
fucking
hold-
horrible.
dude,
It's horrible.
Some guy, I saw it on social media. a guy went to a Comic-Con and literally destroyed everybody because he dressed up as Atreyu, and he had oh my god, who, does anybody remember the dog? The horse's name?
I don't remember that. It's been so long since I've seen that.
But
movie.
like, so he had the horse's head, and he would just walk and stop and sit there and hold it, like literally was messing
So
up.
he had the actual head with him.
Yes, the head on the quicksand, and he would just walk around during this con and just put it down and sit there and hold it. It was just destroying everybody's, like childhood again. But that one's a little one I'm gonna throw on there. So for the next live, we're back to the theaters. What is? Damn it! I should have.
Dangerous Animals.
Woo!
No, it's not.
That's
Dangerous
not.
Animals.
Wait.
No,
I was
no.
gonna say, bro. I
It's not
wasn't
Dangerous
expecting
Animals?
that.
What
It's
is
Bring Her Back. We're doing Bring Her Back.
That's in the theaters. I thought it was streaming.
It comes
Bring Her
out.
Back
it,
to the theater.
Bring Her Back
From,
came,
yeah.
comes
okay.
out tomorrow.
shit.
That's a talk to me folks.
Yeah.
Can't
I-
wait
I-
for
I
that.
can't. I'm good.
And I'm trying to. I think it's the Filippo or something brothers. They're twins. So
I
that's,
heard that movie's incredible so far. I don't.
that's it. So
I don't wanna get hyped
speaking-
up.
Hold on. The only thing I do know on this, I did not see the trailers. However,
Yeah, I'm so
No
Uh,
trailers. for me.
Hawkins, her I can't remember her first name, but
Who?
Jr. from The Shape of Water,
She's
the
in it?
lead actress.
The mute
She's
lady.
yes, she's the
Oh, she's
lead
in it?
this movie. Yes,
Oh,
she's
nice,
the lead
nice.
of this
She's
movie.
a good
So-
actress. Good actress.
Oh, that's why when I found out she's in it, I'm like, oh no,
Oh,
we're
yeah,
in for
she's-
some shit. So yes, make sure to join us next week as we go ahead and check out the Southmore movie. To Talk to Me. I don't know, we might maybe talk a little about Talk to Me at the end of when we discuss Bring Her Back. So make sure to join us next week. Hit subscribe, follow for the updates. This Sunday, dropping on the movies that fucked me up, is going to be.
Hold on,
Damn
before
it,
we-
I know
I'm-
you
I'm
like.
g- we have a couple.
Oh, yeah, there's one.
We're
Holy
doing,
shit, I forgot that one.
we're doing Megan 2.0.
The popcorn bucket's incredible, by the way. And
Dark
I saw
Crystal.
Adam. That's why I don't.
Dark Crystal.
Adam gets on. I don't want him to beat you up after.
Actually, yeah, no. You know what? I'm gonna give him also
Watership Down, man.
Yeah,
That's
Watership Down. That's it. I got the book.
The Dark Crystal series is actually pretty good on Netflix.
The Dark Crystal
Alright.
series was also pretty good too.
All right, sorry. Go.
It's all right.
I just didn't want to lose Adam's comment.
But yeah, so make sure to hit subscribe, follow. Sunday, I'll be dropping my movies that fucked me up. Guinea Pig 2, Flowers of Flesh
This
and
Sunday,
Blood.
Guinea Pig
This
2.
Sunday, and Jared, what you got coming on Tuesday?
We're dropping. I'm dropping. I think it's Night Welcomes Horror. I believe we're dropping Late Night with the Devil.
JR and Red at the
Ooh.
board.
All
There we
right,
go.
I'm looking for that. That was because I saw that movie. Obviously, if I saw your movie, I'm gonna watch the episode. So yeah, that one I'm gonna definitely watch. I'll be curious to what you guys thought.
Last thing I'll say, yeah, but before we go, watch Starve Acre, right? Starve
Yes.
Acre.
Starvaker.
I don't like slow
Morphic
burns.
Clark's in there. Morphic Clark.
I don't like slow burns, but what
I like
carries this film is what's her name? Morphic.
Morphic Clark.
Morphic Clark and Matt, your
Smith.
boy Matt Smith.
Matt Smith.
Incredible acting. That's all I gotta say.
Yes.
Well,
All right,
with that,
guys.
Rick,
Thank you,
take us
Joe.
home, Rick.
With that being said, stay good, stay healthy, stay scared, drink some beer, watch horror films, and come back for the next one. Peace. We out.